Do you think Trump would have gotten the same number of votes if the people who voted for him had access to or the curiosity to seek out and find the truth? Because they're not getting the truth over on Fox. This $780 some million lawsuit is proof of it, you know? So, and that was just one issue. The truth tellers, or whatever book all the facts sit in from day to day, there is no attempt to hide that from the Republican voters. It's ubiquitous. It is. I mean, you have to make a real effort to stay insulated from the facts and common sense.
I know.
It's everywhere except on Fox or Breitbart or whatever the hell the spots are.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here. And have you ever wondered what it takes to push the calmest, most serene guy in the room over the damn edge? That's Jason Bateman. Calm, cool, collected. The guy who's been holding together dysfunctional families since Arrested Development.
The problem is that nothing matters because no one's listening. Like the MAGA folks aren't watching MSNBC or reading the New York Times, where just one of the really salient points would be, why would this guy be slashing and burning and cutting all the waste and abuse and all that stuff? And then at the other side of his mouth, say, I want a $45 million birthday parade. The people who are least equipped to bear what the Trump administration is going to yield are a lot of the folks that voted for him. And that's really freaking sad.
In his calmest voice, a clear tone, he told Nicole Wallace that Donald Trump is an arsonist. Trump, he said, is someone who lights fires, walks away, and lets the rest of us choke on the smoke.
One of his political gifts is like he hears the grievance and then he makes it clear to his voters that he hears them.
Right, and you're implying, I think, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that there's a baked-in level of cynicism there, and manipulation and opportunity to tap into a large group of people that are aggrieved, and that their votes count the same, so let's go after them because there's a lot of people that are pissed off. I can't begrudge them that because that's kind of the game of politics. Yeah. But once you're elected, it's like, can we now actually help the country instead of continuing the cynicism and trying to put more people into? It's basically creating a larger group of people aggrieved with his policies, and then somehow convincing him that I know I'm the arsonist, but trust me, I'll be a firefighter soon. I don't know how he's able to do both.
Let's be absolutely clear who we're talking about here. Donald frickin' Trump, former reality TV host turned one-man misinformation machine. The guy who built his entire political movement on grievance, ego, and gold-plated lies, and called it MAGA. Yeah, that guy, who thinks the whole world is laughing with him, not at him. But we all know better. And speaking of, do you remember that time he sat stone-faced while Seth Meyers roasted him on the White House Correspondents' Dinner for like 5 straight minutes?
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke. Gary Busey said recently that Donald Trump would make a great president. Of course, he said the same thing about an old rusty birdcage he found. Donald Trump owns the Miss USA pageant, which is great for Republicans because it will streamline their search for a vice president. Donald Trump said recently he has a great relationship with the blacks, though unless the blacks are a family of white people, I bet he's mistaken.
Well, folks, guess what? The joke didn't end. The joke kept going, and now the punchline is sitting on mountains of cash, swimming in criminal indictments, and wielding more political power than any one man should ever be trusted with. He lied his way into office, conned his supporters, pulled the rug out from under them, robbed them blind, and now he's set to take away their health care, their Social Security, and their children's future. He has broken every promise he's ever made. And just to make sure the gaslighting is complete, they're now saying Donald Trump's not even on the Epstein list, that there's no Epstein list. So yeah, that's the kind of bottomless frustration, deception, and betrayal we're dealing with right now. Jason Bateman told Nicole Wallace that Trump is an arsonist, The kind of guy who sets the fire, then comes back with the crowd to watch. Hell, maybe even give an interview to the reporter on the scene. And you know what? He's absolutely right. Trump strutted onto the political stage pretending to be the responsible adult in the room, the businessman, the outsider, the guy who was going to fix everything and drain the swamp. But that act, that was pure BS. He didn't fix a thing. He didn't run the country like a business. He ran it more like Job Bluth. All ego, smoke bombs, bad magic tricks, and a Segway he couldn't control. He ran it like a mob boss wrapped in gold leaf and grievance. Like a con man who saw the White House as just another casino to bankrupt, another university to scam, another grift with his name stamped across in top big tacky letters. He promised to fight for the little guy. Instead, he handed the country over to oil lobbyists, Christian nationalists, and billionaire donors. He said he'd bring back jobs. He brought back tax cuts for the rich. He said he'd protect Medicare and Social Security. Now, Project 2025, the plan he's backing, aims to gut them both. He said he'd build a wall. He'd build a movement of fear, hate, and conspiracy brick by brick. And through it all, his base kept believing, kept giving, kept hoping he was the calm, collected one with a plan. But like Bateman said, the fires he started, he never intended to put them out. He just wanted to watch the rest of us burn. And we're supposed to keep calm. Nah, Bateman absolutely had it right. Because it's not just that we're being lied to. It's that the lies are so stupid, so obvious, so absurd, and people still buy them. And it's that absurdity that finally pushes people, calm people, to the edge, to say enough. Enough with the cruelty wrapped in scripture. Enough with flag-waving fascism. Enough with pretending it's normal for a grown man to obsess over gas stoves, M&M mascots, and alpha males while ignoring the veterans who sleep in their cars or the families crushed by medical debt. Bateman spoke for all of us in that moment, not as a celebrity, not as a Democrat, but as a guy who woke up one day, looked around, and realized the madness wasn't slowing down. It was accelerating. And if he can say something, so can you. Because when even the calmest guy in the room throws up his hands and says, "That's it, I've had enough," you know it's not just noise anymore. It's a siren. This isn't about politics. It's about survival. It's about dignity. It's about calling out the con and refusing to be complicit in our own destruction. They're gutting your rights. They're mocking your struggles. They're hijacking your faith and selling it for parts. And then they dare to call it patriotism. Well, not on our watch. We see it. We name it. And we fight it. Because the truth matters, and we're not backing down. We're going to keep bringing you the truth. We're going to keep breaking it down. We're going to keep being the voice that cuts through the noise, and we're going to keep doing it right here on TYT and Rebel HQ. So stay loud, stay sharp, stay angry if you have to, because silence is complicity, and we are not built for that. This is our line in the sand, and we're drawing it with fire, and that's an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.